Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is October 9th, 2020, going into October 10th, 2020, another Shabbat. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, clearly you were blessed to see yet another day. And all praises due to the Most High, Yahya, by Yeshem, Yeshua, HaMashiach, Baruch, Atu Adonai. And I'm blessed to be with you guys on another day as well. And so, uh, I look forward to these lessons, and I send out peace and blessings to you and all your families, and I speak nothing but peace, blessings, and prosperity on each and every one of you. And today, uh, we're gonna tackle the Ethiopians. You all know, or some of you may not know, that they've claimed for a very long time that they were Hebrew Israelites, and some even claim that they were from the tribe of Dan, and they were allowed to actually go back to Israel and live there, and many of them live there right now today. But as so many times before in the past, DNA has outed them as not being from the seed of Isaac and Jacob. As a matter of fact, they are Cushites, or from the bloodline of Ham. And so many lies have been told, right? And that's the great thing about DNA, and why so many people still push back against DNA, because it tells the truth. It's like so many nations and races of people have tried to invade the Holy Land, or bogart their way until the salvation of the children of Israel, or I mean, you name it. You can just look at all of our captivities, right? And so many lies have been told, man. So, we're going to get into that today. I don't know how long this presentation is going to be, but I have a lot that I need to bring forth with it. So, it'll be over when it's over, but I guarantee you it will definitely be very interesting, and hopefully you'll get something from it. So, with that said, let's get into it. The Ethiopians, they are not genetic Hebrew Israelites. Let's get it. Ethiopians are not Hebrew Israelites by blood, i.e., they are not the seed of Isaac and Jacob. What they are converts from the bloodline of Ham by way of Cush, because in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary it states which races came from Ham, and clearly Cush came from Ham, and Ethiopians are Cushites. We'll get into that in a little bit. But they really need to stop spreading this lie and false narrative to the world. They are no different than those converted Khazarian and Ashkenazis that occupy the land of Israel today. Again, Ethiopians are Cushites. This is a genetic fact. I don't care how much they don't want to believe it or accept it, whatever. Sound familiar? See, it's one thing for them to humble themselves and sojourn with the true children of Israel, but these people have been lying and masquerading around as the children of Israel, like so many other races and groups of people. So clearly, they have no desire to sojourn at all, because they really think in their minds that they are descended from one of the tribes of Israel, even though DNA completely proves that belief to be false. Yeah. See, King Shalmaneser replaced the 10 tribes of Israel and Samaria with the Ethiopians. This is why Yeshua HaMashiach instructed his disciples not to go anywhere near the Samaritans. Matthew 10:5 says, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. And that's exactly why Christ put the Samaritan Ethiopian woman in check at the well when she tried to tell him the lie that the land she dwelled belonged to her forefathers. Christ put a halt to that immediately when he said in John 4:20-22, and she said, our fathers worship this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship? And Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when you shall neither in this mountain or in Jerusalem worship the Father. You know not what you worship. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, i.e., the true Jews. In other words, the true Jews, not you and your impostor Ethiopian brethren occupying the land and pretending to be the Hebrew Israelites. In lay terms, you don't even know who you're talking to or what you're talking about. Ethiopians throughout history have told many, many lies, on the Most High and on his true chosen nation. You think he doesn't know who they really are and what they've done? That's why he said in Zephaniah 2 and 12, ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. And ain't nothing left to talk about. That says it all. So y'all better get ready. Y'all need to repent for all your transgressions against the Most High, and his people will be destroyed. Your choice. So before we even go a little further into the lesson, let's look at it. They claim to be Israelites, right? They say nothing about Ham or anything like that. But let's get into what the DNA says about the Ethiopians. First, I'm going to bring forth the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Then we're going to get into uh, the DNA outing the Ethiopians as what they really are, Cushites from the bloodline of Ham. And this is where it started. This lays the foundation for the dark races that came out of Ham. Okay, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. All right, and it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, who I've already went on record and proven to be the Bantus or us, right? But the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites, or Hamitic Africans as we know them today. But back then they dwelled in the Promised Land, which is called Canaan, and they were referred to as Canaanites, which is why many of them today still consider Israel theirs. That's a whole nother subject for another day. So that's the foundation right there for the dark races that Ham became the progenitor of, right? So then, of course, I took it upon myself when it was my mission to prove that what the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary said was true, and I had to genetically prove what the Zondervan said, and that's exactly what I did. And we're going to get into that in the next slide, because it literally names the Ethiopians. It doesn't say Cush or Cushite. It says the Ethiopians who Ham became the progenitor of, and that's exactly what they are. So let's go to the next slide. All right. And here we go. My brothers, sisters, and sojourners of Israel, what you are now looking at is the Hamitic DNA data of the Ethiopians, basically all those 4 races that the Zondervan Compact Bible list in that passage. So that's what you're looking at. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every single thing, but I'm going to kind of highlight the most important things you need to be concerned with in terms of coming to a logical conclusion. All right, now as you can see, it has a list of the Hamitic groups on the left side, and then of course it has a lot of nomenclatures, and I have it in red, E1B1A and E1B1B, because I established that E1B1A is the seeds of Jacob, E1B1B is the seeds of Ham, and defaulted to Esau for some reason, but we're not even dealing with that. We're just dealing with Ham. Okay, so now if you go down to about the second passage, I'm sorry, the second list under Hermetic groups, it says Ethiopian Oromo. All right. And then it has the first column, the second column. Now, the most important, now, what I want you all to pay attention to is not so much what the percentage says in E1B1B, because basically what that says is that 60% of the sample that they took from those people, 60% are Ham. Okay. So now, while that is significant, that's more than half of their people. Because race mixing went on all throughout. No one was exempt from not mixing their race. Okay, so and this number is representative of that. So all of these numbers are, but it tells you that 60% of this sample taken from the Ethiopians, Oromo people, are from Ham, E1B1B. But now, more significantly, let's go back. Let's look to the left where it says E1B1A. 2.56%, like 2% in that people they said is E1B1A is actually Jacob. 2. Now look at 2 compared to 60. And you see the significance, okay? Numbers don't lie. All right, so let's go down. Let's go to the Ethiopians, Wolata or Wolata, however you pronounce it. All right, they have 0% E1B1A and 58% E1B1B, which is Ham. Let's go to the Ethiopians, Oromo. All right, which I don't know if there's another set of Oromos, but anyway, for them it's 56% Ham, 0% Jacob. And this is significant. It's not so much the whatever the percentage is for Ham, but it's the what percentage do they have that says that they're Israel. That's the point, right? That's the key right there. All right. And you scroll down to the Ethiopian Amhara, uh 5.88% Jacob. Okay. 50% Ham. And what that also tells us is that what we already knew anyway. We're already scattered and mixed in just about every nation, every race of people. Jacob is mixed in. Okay, so that's not, startling, but 5%, that's nowhere near significant. All right, let's go down to where it says the Libyans. Um, I don't know if that NT stands for none taken, or I'm not really sure, but if you go over to the E1B1B side for the Libyans, again, 55% of them Ham, just like the Zonovan said, Ham. All right, and then you scroll down again, you got uh the mixed Ethiopians, right? uh 50% in the Maasai, another Hamitic tribe, 50%. They didn't take any for the E1B1A. So that's the significance of the DNA data. Okay. So what you can logically conclude, and before I even do that, let's go ahead and identify uh Cush would be the Ethiopians, obviously. Mitzrayim, the Egyptians. Put are the Libyans, and Canaan are the Africans, and the Negroes came up out of Eber and Peleg, all right, or the Bantus, all right. I want to throw that in there real quick. So that's what we can logically conclude that the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, what they said about Ham being the progenitor of the Ethiopians, the Libyans, uh, the the Hamites, or the Canaanites, which are represented by the Maasai. All those four races were represented in that Hamitic DNA chart. Okay, and that's why I brought it forth. So we can logically conclude that it is true that those races are, in fact, from the bloodline of Ham and not the Negroes or the E1B1A, because there's, in many of those groups, there's no percentage of E1B1A and a very small percentage of E1B1A in a few of them. So there you go. And there you have it. Okay? All right. Moving right along. Okay, everyone. Before I move on, I wanted to kind of add this real quick because it just dawned on me that I didn't have any of the DNA data of the Egyptians. All right, so just in the spirit of transparency and being thorough, I wanted to kind of include that real quick. So as you can see by the numbers, with the E1B1A, which is Jacob, uh, 2.7%, 5.7, and so on. So all these columns are Egyptians. I guess it's real big in terms of Egypt being separated. So it's a lot of different types of Egyptians from this side, that side. So there you go. Numbers don't lie. I just kind of wanted to include that real quick. In the spirit of transparency. All right, moving right along. And like I've said before, the Ethiopians have told many lies over the years. Okay, and that's why in Zephaniah 2:12, the Most High said, "Ye Ethiopians also, you shall be slain by my sword." So clearly, the Most High has beef with them. They know what it is, and more importantly, He knows what it is. Now, of all the lies that's been told, the Ethiopians claiming to have possession of the Ark of the Covenant, now that's huge. But I would say probably slightly bigger than that is the lie that Solomon procreated with this Queen of Sheba and produced a son that was named Menelik the First. Now, this has been proven genetically false because remember, what the numbers in the DNA data from a few slides ago showed that I brought forth. And if this Menelik was Solomon's son, that would mean his Y DNA haplotype was E1B1A. And if that were true, there would be a much greater saturation of that Y DNA haplotype throughout Ethiopia today, and it is not. So they really need to knock it off. Don't believe it, my people, especially to my Jamaican brothers and sisters out there in the Rastafarian movement. It's pure fiction, fantasy, make-believe, whatever you want to call it. It's just simply not true. It didn't happen, okay? If Solomon had a male child with this woman, that child's genealogy would have to be included in Torah. And you guys know how important our genealogy is to the Most High. I've done lessons on it. Okay, there's no way Solomon had a son with this woman and he's not listed or accounted for in Torah. It just didn't happen. Stop it. Okay? Because that speaks directly to the priestly line of King David, where they said the Messiah, Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, would be descended from, not Haile Selassie, who's descended from Menelik. No. And he's actually went on record at least 3 times to deny that he was the Christ. But yet people, yet again, want to believe what they want to believe. All right? But it's not true. Solomon did not have, he had one son. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I want to address this because sometimes Solomon's mother, Bathsheba, gets confused with Queen of Sheba. And they are two separate people. They're not the same. Okay? Bathsheba was Solomon's mom, King David's wife. We all know the story with that. They, David's first son, the Most High took because David did some stuff that was kind of foul, and he sent that lady's husband to war so he can have her. And the Most High didn't like that. He had a son. David prayed. The Most High took him, but he still blessed him with Solomon. All right? So they aren't the same people. Solomon had many wives. I think the Bible says at least 700. Whether you believe it was 700 or 70, doesn't matter. Metaphor is he had a lot of wives, but only one bore his son, and that was Naamah. Okay? She was the mother of Solomon's only son. All right? Rehoboam, or Rehoboam, however you want to pronounce it. That was Solomon's only son. All right? And there we go. And he's documented as he would have to be, because this is all Israel. All Israel has to be reckoned by their genealogy. And that just hammers home the point. It speaks for itself. Look at it. He is the only son of King Solomon. And he's reckoned. He's accounted for. Okay, that Menelik first thing, man, that's just pure fantasy, man. Didn't happen. So many, people have lived off that lie. It's just ridiculous. All right? Here we go. You see it for yourself. All right? Then after him came Abijah. And who was that? That was Solomon's grandson. All right? You see the pattern here? Everyone and everything is in order. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has to be uh documented, right? There you go, Abijah. All right? There's no Menelik in Torah. As a matter of fact, a lot of people seem to think this Queen of Sheba didn't even exist. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really into, big conspiracy theories or, things like that. It's not even about her or that. What this is about is that Solomon in the priestly line of King David did not sire a son with some woman, not his wife. All right? It just didn't happen. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the Rastafarians, they really believe that Haile Selassie is directly descended from King David, and he is not. Even though, to his credit, he has denied that he's the Christ, that he's the Yeshua HaMashiach, or anything along those lines. But people are I doubt very seriously a lot of Rastafarians even know that. Right? All right, and here we go. I don't know if you all can read that, so I'll read it for you. But this is Haile Selassie's words himself. I know I said it at least on 3 occasions. He denied that he was the Messiah. It says Rastafarians worship Emperor Haile Selassie despite his many denials of being God. Listen to Emperor Haile Selassie denial of deity in an interview in Canada in 1967 aboard the Royal Train. And it says below is a portion of the transcript of the first personal radio interview granted by Emperor Haile Selassie. CBC reporter Bill McNeil conducted the interview with Emperor Haile Selassie while in Canada, 1967, aboard the Royal Train. Questioned by Bill McNeil, there are millions of Christians throughout the world, Your Imperial Majesty, who regard you as the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. And Selassie's answer, quote, I have heard of that idea. I also met certain Rastafarians. I told them clearly that I am a man, that I am a mortal, and that I will be replaced by the oncoming generations, and that they should never make the mistake or make a mistake in assuming or pretending that a human being is emanated from a deity. So, wow. I hope you Jamaican brothers and sisters heard what I just said. This is from the words from his mouth directly. Not only is he denying himself to be the Christ, but he's also denying the Christ being the Son of the Most High God. He's doing two things in one. So it's like he's doing a lot with that. But he's telling out his own mouth. He's like he is just a man. He's not God. He's not mortal. Okay, he's going to die. He addressed a lot in that one, uh, you know, short paragraph in his answer. He addressed a lot. So, and those are his words. But again, people can hear you say something out of your own mouth themselves, and they're still going to believe what they want to believe. I don't know. A lot of people just have this, especially our people, man. We have this kind of God complex. We just look into something, anyone, anything. That just I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. It's kind of sad. Because like I said, a lot of Jamaican brothers and sisters, they really, really think that this Haile Selassie is from the priestly line of King David, man, and he is not. It's a hoax. It's a farce. Yeah, and I mean no disrespect, but it's just the truth, man. I mean, there's no Menelik in the Bible. There's no Menelik that came from Solomon. Solomon had one son, all right, and that's just what it is. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, like they say, sorry, not sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, I got to tell the truth, right? So, anyway, that's that. I believe there's one other segment or section to this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But it pretty much covered all the points that I wanted to make with the presentation with the Ethiopians, genetics and everything. I didn't want to get too deep. Like I said, I wanted to kind of keep it, relatively short, under 30 minutes, really 20, 25 in between there. So, I think that should be it. No, I don't. The last segment is really not. Yeah, that should be it. I'll end it with Emperor Selassie's words and him denying that he is Jesus Christ, Yeshua Hamashiach, and I think that's a great note to end it on. All right, so I really hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Of course, you can always Google and research further. But hopefully I highlighted and covered the things that were most important about this, about the Ethiopians and them claiming to be, the children of Israel, and how genetics out of them is not. So yeah, hopefully, I guess you got something from it. So until next time, um, next Shabbat or the next lesson, this is Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Hayah by Yeshem, Yeshua HaMashiach, Baruch Atah Adonai, Shalom.